working with the member for Candy to making sure we get things done.
Has expired. I call the member for Dawson.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Will the Prime Minister outline to the House why housing values are the bedrock of certainty and security for Australian families?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the honourable member for his question, and I appreciate, as he does keenly, how important the value of housing is to the economic security of the people of his electorate, who are already dealing with the transition from the mining construction boom and the consequences of that. And I note that in the Mackay region alone, there are more than 5,700 property owners who claim net rental losses on their investment, negatively gear their investments. And, Mr Speaker, honourable members know that housing represents about 65% of the net worth of all Australian households. There is $5.56 trillion invested in housing. That's nearly 3 times the size of the total amount invested in superannuation.
Member for Lawler.
If house prices were to fall by just 5%, that would wipe $278 billion off the national balance sheet, and it would disproportionately affect lower-income households. 71% of the net worth of the lowest-income households in Australia is in housing. If house prices were to fall by just 5%, it would leave households in the lowest income quintile, the lowest 20%, just under $12,000 poorer. Now, the Leader of the Opposition likes to say that negative gearing, the ability to claim a net rental loss, benefits only the wealthy few. And I know, as the honourable member does, that many of those people claiming net rental losses in his electorate are members of unions, and I imagine many of them members of the AWU. Of course, the Leader of the Opposition, as when he was the National Secretary of the AWU, said, talking about negative gearing, he said these tools are not accessible to members of the Australian Workers' Union and other ordinary Australians, ordinary working Australians. Well, Mr Speaker, there are 82,290 fitters in Australia. 9,585 of them use negative gearing. That's 11.6%. Their average net rental loss is $10,000. Steel workers, there are 109,000 steel workers in Australia. 9,480 of them use negative gearing. That's 8.7%. Their average net rental loss is $9,920. And there are 104,000 metal workers. 11,000 of them use negative gearing. That's 10.6%. Their average net rental loss is 9,740 Australians. The honourable member knows full well what the opposition leader does not, that their attack, Labor's attack on negative gearing, is an attack on the savings of ordinary Australians.
Has expired. The